Hey guys, welcome to another review. I am Mr. P, and today I'm going to be doing something that isn't necessarily new per se. It is a clone of a very popular atomizer. In fact, I've done a couple of reviews of the clone and the genuine article. But I'm doing it nevertheless. I've got it, so let's do it. Today I am doing the EH Pro Kayfun Lite Plus V2 Black. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Black and stainless, I've got it in black. So that's what I'm doing today. Yep, Kayfun clone. So what I'm doing today is, I'm going to chuck it straight down on the table, to be honest with you. Before I do that, I'm going to hash over a very little bit of information with you. This is from thebestshop.eu. I will link that down there and it will be up here. So go and check them out, Irish-based website, and yeah, get onto their service. It was spectacular. I'll go into that on the other side though. Available in stainless steel and black, and that's what I'm going to go over now. I'm going to chuck it straight down on the table and show you what you get inside, which is loads, and then obviously come back up to me and do what I do best. Right guys, a little close up of this bad boy, EH Pro, love it. Kayfun Lite Plus clone V2 in black. So let's go for it. Firstly, EH Pro box. Gotta love them for this. I mean, you know, it's just a presentation box, but you know, markings, and it's nice. It's nice to get stuff in a box like this. So, open her up. Boom. Let's start with this. Obviously, there's the Kayfun clone. This did come in a sealed wrapper, but obviously, you know me, I've had to go and I removed it. So some of the goodies you get. First of all, a bit of resistance wire. Now, I'm hoping from EH Pro this is Candle, but it may well be Nichrome. Some Eco Wall for those Eco Wall heads out there. And then, what have we got here? Let's have a look. We have got a nice load of spares. Now, we've got a couple of O-ring spares for your drip tip. We've got a couple of screws for in your deck. And we've got 4 O-rings for your tank sections, connectors, and so on and so forth. And we have a big black one there for your top cap. So spot on for that. In fact, I believe that's more space than you get with an actual Kayfun. So what else do we have here? Here we have our middle tank section for the Kayfun. I've just noticed something, and I'm going to keep that aside until I confirm it. And then we have our full clear tank section. Short of a nano kit, there's not much more they could put in here. So, lovely. Let's get rid of this for a minute and put this over here. We'll keep these tank sections just to one side for a second. Now, into the close-up of the K. So, this is the non-branded version, okay? Purely because, well, the Lite Plus doesn't have the Symesto brand in here. The only thing it does have is designed in Russia, made in Germany on the bottom. So, I would rather not have the branding on here because, you know, it stands out even more. We'll start at the base, why not? Non-adjustable, like a real Kayfun. Let me bring you down a little bit. Non-adjustable 510. Do not open that, do not undo that, because it's not adjustment. You don't need it, it's protruding like a K. It should be. So there you go. In the bottom you have your fill screw just here, and you've got your airflow control screw just here. Do want to say that this is the O-ring to fill screw, like the Lite Plus should be, so spot on. And obviously C markings along the bottom and the logo in there. So 510. We have got somewhere on here, there we are, air hole. Now this air hole does seem a wee bit on the large side compared to my Kayfun Lite. I'm going to try and get this to be made actually as clear as possible. So there's that air hole. And then there's mine on my K-Lite, as you can see. Much loved, not abused. Kayfun there. So, there you go. And obviously new style, so drip tip. Double O-ringed, black drip tip. Lovely. So there you go, that's one piece just. We'll put them up here, just here. Into the body and the deck, I suppose. So top cap, first I just want to point out, you have got some discoloration in there where it hasn't been fully painted. Okay, so that's a little bit of a downside there. It's never going to be seen, but I've just seen it and you'll see it on camera. To be truthful, you're never going to see it, but it's what it is. So let's start at the top. Top cap, cock, there it is. So you've got a well drilled out there for extra juice. You've got your O-ring out here like it should be. Obviously all internals is stainless steel and unpainted. 510 drip tips, they've all fitted in that just whilst we're here as well. So there you go. It's going to be hard to make out the O-rings, but it is there purely because obviously this is a black version. We then have our tank sections. Now they all screw together spot on. Screw threads are lovely, finish is great, paint is great. I have actually been using this all day, knocked it around a couple of times as I do accidentally, and no damage whatsoever. Hopefully you can make all that on camera. That's a bit of water there, where Mr. P didn't dry it off properly, but there you go. So top and bottom either way around will work. Middle, now this is one thing I wanted to point out. I haven't looked at the clear tank. It's not necessarily a negative because they're in there, but if you want to use that clear tank section, get some of these O-rings from that spares bag and stick them on, because otherwise you may be in a bit of trouble and have some leaking issues. Alright, so there we go. There we go. And as I say, you know, you've got your, I'm just going to zoom out a bit because I'm getting a bit packed down now. You've got your obviously full clear section there, which I think is great, because this from Sfomesto is a tenner. And to be honest with you, I've used that one, and I'm going to try and get to you how thick this is, but this is much thicker than the Fast Tech versions, and it actually feels better than the Sfomesto one, so go figure. EH Pro, well done. Now the difference between your light version 1 is obviously your top, your sort of Tin Man's hat, your top cap is extended, so that's longer. Let's get into this. So we've got our chamber section here. Threads on lovely. This is a slightly different finish actually to, you know, the inside of these tubes. It's a more of a matted finish, but I don't care. It works. It does the job. That's that there, and obviously your chimney there. Now into the deck, we have the fill hole screw there, which obviously we exposed to filling from the bottom. We have our juice channels. I'm sorry guys, I'll do my best to get this off glare. Juice channels there, perfectly cut. No burrs, no nothing. Same around here. To be honest with you, we've come to expect this from EH Pro, and they're not failing to deliver on this. Insulation, spot on down here. Okay, obviously this one's your positive, this one's your negative. These screws, unlike some of the clones that are out there, you can get 0.5 under there, no problem, like I can in my legitimate K. I've run one tank through it on this coil. I'm going to light that up in a minute and see how it looks. If it looks shocking, we'll rewick it. If not, then I shall run with that coil. But everything is where it should be, you know. So that's what I'm talking about. All of that bundle there, very cheap, very, very cheap. So what I'm going to do very quickly, I'm move all the bits and bobs out of the way. I'm going to grab this here. I'm going to put that down to there. Let me just zoom you in again. Oh, that's the wrong way. Zoom you in again, and let's see how this coil's lighting up. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I'll be keeping that coil. So, what to do, let's get a bit of cotton from over here, Mr. P's goodie bag, and we shall quickly form a cotton wick. Now, most of you guys will know how to do this. If you don't, you want to give cotton a go, then it's fairly simple. Just sort of thin it out, get it tight at one end, give the wick a roll in the middle. Obviously, make sure your wick is not stupidly big in comparison to your coil. You want it just a gnat's hair thicker than the coil. It should be fairly free moving. Obviously stick it through and give it a twist here. That's what I tend to do. Sorry guys, do my best to keep this on camera for you. Just give that a little twist and another one, and you know, you're looking for that kind of level of resistance. So that there is bloody marvellous. So usual Kayfun procedure, I suppose, what I would tend to do is lift these up like that and bunch them together. I would then grab my chamber section, which is, you know, the best way to do it, and then sit it like that. Pinch these at the top, so hopefully I can do it from this angle. Obviously guys, as you can imagine, you can appreciate this isn't as easy as it looks on camera. Pinch these at this angle to stop them twisting when you're screwing this chamber section on. Screw it down, and then what I would tend to do is grab a pair of snips and go literally just above. Don't worry about these little straggly bits, they're easy to cut off. Usually on a dripper and such, I would say leave them on, it's not a problem. In a Kayfun, however, them little straggly bits can find themselves a path down to the channel. If they're sitting in your channel, you will notice a dramatic decrease in performance, in wicking, and obviously that results in a decrease in vapour and flavour. So that's a fairly simple little procedure right there. What I'm going to have to do, just grab myself a tiny little screwdriver if I find one. That would be nicely, to poke this down. So what I tend to do, you see there, we've got a channel here, there, and a channel there. This coil's going up that way, so I tend to grab this one, tuck it back on itself, and just poke her in. You're not aiming to poke it down, you're just literally aiming to tuck it in. And then the same on this side. Now one thing I will say, I've rewicked my Kayfun probably 600 times, okay, and that's without all the clones and stuff that I've had in my hand. I have never, with the amount of cotton I've just left in that coil, had that gap there or that gap there to that extent. So I don't know how, but it seems like bigger in here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to join the wicks. Now I'm going to do this by grabbing a small thin piece of cotton like so, not a big bit. In fact, I'm actually going to reduce the size of that by doing that kind of thing there. And again, right, that's all we're after. That's a very, very small bit of cotton. Now what I tend to do is lay it in there, get one side to take down here. You want a bit more on this side, and then get the other side to just link up there. That's all we're after. Like so. I will do that again on this side because I've just realised the camera's at the wrong angle for you to be able to see that properly. So there we go. Do the same again, very small bit, like so. Tear it off. The reason I do this is that one of these channels may wick faster than the other, one may wick better, and if nothing else, even if they both wick exactly the same and perfectly, a little bit more cotton in there gives for a little bit more juice retention. So just plump it down there, and then stick her on there like so. What I'm going to do is I only ever, with a Kayfun, I only ever prime the coil bit. For those of you who are interested, this is some Golden Drops teddy bears. Very tasty juice. So that's what we've got here. I suppose what I'm going to do now is zoom you back out fractionally. Now I'm going to stick the chimney on like that. And in fact, I'm going to run, I'd like to run this in full black. No, actually, I'm going to run it with the clear tank just because there may be some of you out there who haven't put O-rings on the Kayfun tank section before, and I'd like to show you how to do that in the most half-assed way that I know how, which is just by being me. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of this section here, and we'll get rid of that one there, because we're not going to need them. In fact, I think I might screw them together for safekeeping. There we go. So plump them back in the box like that and like that. There we go. Oh, hello, Mr. P's throwing stuff everywhere. And now with this, these aren't particularly hard to install. Alright, all it is grab that like so, give it a stretch, and it'll pull in. Alright, so those of you who have bought one of these clones and wonder why you're getting leaking or flooding, that's why. Just stick them O-rings on there, guys. It's as simple as that. And then we'll grab the Kayfun, bring it back over here, give that a little screw down there. In fact, I'm going to take it off of the handle just briefly because I don't want to do any damage to my connection. Then grab our clear tank section. Now be careful, especially when you're making your first purchase on these threads, because, and I want to say that this happens with the legitimate Kayfun as well. My legitimate Kayfun did exactly the same thing as this for a long time. Finding that initial bite, you've got to be so careful. It's not so much of an issue on the bigger tank, you know, the full polycarbonate one, because there we go, because you know you can see everything a bit better, and you've got more threads exposed, whereas on this, here we go, sorry, on this, these metal tubes are going over the threads, whereas on the big one the tank actually goes over, you know, your bottom and top thread, therefore you can see what's happening a wee bit better anyway. So like I say, just be careful, flip them upside down, they're all interchangeable. Find a way that bites the best for you. So for me, that is right there. And then grab our top cap, pop her on, screw that down, and then this drip tip, just sit it in. So that's the Kayfun, all ready to go. This airflow, now you do get a screwdriver in the box, and I think I actually failed to show you that because I'm a naughty Mr. P, and that is just there. That is a double Phillips and flathead. I've noticed the flathead, however, is a slight bit bigger than I'd like it for this airflow. But, you know, we've all got little screwdrivers around, I don't doubt, and if not, get yourself into a pound shop. Now, obviously, as you screw it down, she seats in, blocking off some more of that air hole. Okay, that's at its maximum there, and I have basically no airflow. So, let's bring it halfway out. Sorry guys, there we go, that's actually what. There we go. So, it's a functioning and working airflow control, which from some countries you do not get, because I have the benefits of having a little screwdriver sitting next to me. I'm going to use my own, so we're going to undo this here, and like I say, I did say to you earlier, it is a screw with the O-ring, and that's to prevent leaking. Now with the version 1 Kayfun Lite, it didn't have that. I can't say I ever had a problem with the leaking, but I know that some guys did. So to fill it, you've got your hole there, stick the needle at the end of your needle or whatever it is you're using, bottle top in there, give her a nice little squeeze. Now 45 degrees is what we're after, and you'll see liquid, you can see it there going into my little tank here. And keep giving it a squeeze, and basically what I like to do is, as I get to that angle there, a little bit more of a squeeze, a little bit more, and as you basically there, see that air bubble's about to disappear? That's stopping time. So 4.5 mil in this tank at the minute, lovely stuff. Plonk that back there, screw it up like so, right down, nice and tight. Plonk your screwdriver back in your box, and then chuck your freshly re-ricked, or re-cottoned in this case, Kayfun Lite clone back onto its Hannah. Come back up to me, 30 watts, oh look at that. Come back up to me now and we'll have a nice little vape. Right guys, welcome back up to me, Black Kayfun. Right, as you see in the close-up, everything's tight as a drum, to be perfectly honest with you. One of the first things initially that impressed me is, obviously you read from the site what you're going to get, and I will do that in a second, but you open it up and you go, wow. If you've bought a genuine Kayfun like I have, you know what you receive when you get that and how it looks. And I've got to say, to be honest with you, if the quality of that box was a little bit better, it would be a far, far better sort of present as you opened it to yourself, or whether it's been bought for you, just because of purely how it's presented. So well done EH Pro for that, that's spot on. I'm going to read you a little bit about from the site, which is, like I say, thebestshop.eu. Go and check them out guys. We ordered mid-afternoon yesterday in fact, and it was here first thing this morning, just touching this afternoon if I'm honest with you. So yeah, spot on service, cheap delivery as well. So price €33, which is about £28 in Great British Sterling. So 28 quid, lovely. So let's read you a bit of bump about the atomizer, I suppose. The Kayfun Lite Plus V2, which is version 2 in brackets, is a slight update from the Kayfun Lite Plus, the rebuildable atomizer. First notable difference is the aesthetics of the drip tip and the top cap. Yes, we do notice that there, and obviously the top cap internally I showed you. Other difference is the added O-ring to the juice fill screw, and an updated valve which has been recessed further to the bottom cap. This will allow easier fill and reduce the possibility of juice from being wasted due to spillage. The Kayfun Lite Plus V2 maintains majority of the same characteristics and performance as the previous version, such as a stainless steel construction, medical grade silicone seals, and additional spare parts. EH Pro have carefully replicated the design with pure perfection and pure precision, making it another great functioning rebuildable atomizer. That's what it says on the site. Then it also says choose from a non-logo on the base or logo version, so you can have it non-logo or logo. This is non-logo, there's no need for a logo. So, package includes, and it lists everything, you've just seen it. It does say, it is strongly recommended to thoroughly wash and clean the atomizer. When using rebuildable atomizers, please have a clear knowledge and understanding of properly using these products. Always recommended, but let's face it, you've got to start somewhere. So if you haven't got a clear knowledge, please watch as many videos as you can to get some knowledge before you delve in. we did wash this immediately. Now the standard way to wash this, a bit of kettle water, put it all in a cup disassembled, give it a rinse around, rinse it all through again, more kettle water, rinse it all through again, and dry it all. It's just to get rid of the machine oils. I mean, to be honest with you, I did that with my genuine Kayfun, and you know, they all have them. They all have the machine oils. So yeah, just make sure you do give it a little wash before you start, because otherwise you could judge the atomizer before you're ready to, and give it bad marks because you're tasting machine oil. So that's one thing. Right, I'm not going to fuck around today. I'm going straight into a 5-point hit list, and we're going to start with 6-point hit list. Damn it, 6-point hit list, and we're going to start with looks. It looks like a Kayfun Lite Plus V2 in black. You've got the option of a stainless steel. The Kayfun is a 10, the clone is a 10, EH Pro have done it spot on. The fact you can choose black, you can't even do that from Fomesto. Spot on, giving you preference, okay? It looks great with the all clear tank, it looks great with the all black tank, it looks great like that as well. It's a great looking atomizer. So 10 for me on looks. I love the Kayfun. In fact, as I say, there's mine over there. Love it. So yeah, it's an improvement over the one that I have, to be honest with you. I think this drip tip is nicer and it feels much better. 10 for looks. Usability. Well, it's a Kayfun. A Kayfun is as easy to use as a dripper is. All you've got to do is learn how to put that wick in. Don't ram it down. If you listen to me and do not ram it down, you'll have this from day one, as long as you can wrap a coil. Now, whether you're using eco wool that's provided, whether you're using silica, Japanese cotton, boiled organic cotton, bio cotton, whatever it is you're using, mesh I've seen, as long as you make sure that them channels aren't too puffed, your coil isn't too packed, and you can wrap a coil, you can do this. You can re-wick a dripper, you can do this. If you can re-wick an atomizer head, you can do this. And if you can't do either of those, or you haven't tried, this is easier than that atomizer head, if you ask me, and it's easier than some drippers. So 10 for usability. It is spot on. The airflow control at the bottom, you know, you do need quite a fine screwdriver for that, but it does work as a functioning airflow control. I have found wide open, it's very fractionally looser than my version 1 Lite. So if you like the version 1 Lite drawer, then you know you'll be able to have that, because it's slightly looser and it gets all the way tighter as you like. So spot on. If you like a really airy drawer, no Kayfun is going to be for you. I mean, even my 2.1 genuine isn't super loose. So yeah, I mean 1.6 millimeters is what I'd say that's equivalent to, push 1.7. So you're never going to be blowing stupid clouds of it, but you can lung hit with it at a push, and you know, it's not a cloud chasing tank. It just isn't. It just doesn't exist. Maintenance is the third on my hit list. To maintain this, you have to maintain your coil. You have to maintain your juice level and give it all a wash. There are quite a few pieces here, but that's a reflection on the genuine as much as it is the clone. For me, maintenance is a 10. If you're just getting into this, of course this is going to be hard to maintain the dripper. You've got more bits there, you've got more O-rings to look after, you've got more pieces to wash. Other than that though, it's the same. Maintain your build and you're on. Maintenance, I'm going to give it a 10 anyway, but if you are sort of new to this, it's going to be an 8 or a 9 because of the amount of parts that go with this tank. It's just how it is, and if I was holding a legitimate Kayfun, I'd be saying the same thing. Build quality and price. So, build quality. The build quality is fantastic. EH Pro make some of the best clones, if not the best clones, in my opinion. There are companies out there that are close, but they're not EH Pro. Okay, the EH Pro stuff is always more expensive because you get what you pay for. Now, I know some people will be watching this and go, why don't you buy a legitimate one then and pay 75, 80 quid? Because, to be honest with you, I've got one, and it's good. It's good. So build quality is going to get a 10. Price, 28 quid. For what you're getting, this cost me 75 quid delivered. This cost me just over 30 quid delivered, so less than half the price. The price is a 10. Build quality versus price. You are definitely, in comparison to my Kayfun, you're getting what you're paying for. You're getting a great build. You're getting more than your money's worth, if you ask me. So that price versus build quality is a 10. Flavour and vapour. The Vapor is a 10. It's not the most Vapor I've ever had at an atomizer by any stretch of the imagination. Some guys would have seen some Cloud Jackson videos I've done and know that it's not the most Vapor I've had, but it's more than ample. So I'm going to give the Vapor a 10. Flavour. The flavour on this is excellent. It's fantastic flavour. In fact, to the point where I'd say it's verging on better than my Kayfun. Now, I don't have the Lite Plus, I have the Lite, but it's a 10. It's lovely, lovely flavour, lovely, thick, dense, rich vapour. It's a stunning vape. It really is. If those of you out there want to know whether this is a Kayfun vape, hell yeah it is, and then some, in my opinion, at times. And one of the reasons for that is, and I'll go into it now, my Kayfun, I am not a novice. I said in the close-up I must have read my Kayfun at least 500 times, and I've done, if you account for all the clones, you know, me and Worm pissing around with each other's Kayfuns and so on and so forth, my partner's Kayfun, I must have reworked well over 1,000 times on a Kayfun deck. Okay, I know how to build a Kayfun. My Kayfun realistically runs around 17 to 18 watts. That's where I find if you push it any harder, you get the dry hit. Whether it's occasional or consistent, depending on juice, you get the dry hits. Either the juice flow can't keep up, or the juice is too much in PG, so it can keep up in terms of viscosity, but the PG juices don't respond well to that really high, you know, volts. They just don't. This thing is sat here vaping 23 watts. My Kayfun can't do that. I don't know why, but my genuine Kayfun can't do that. My partner's genuine Kayfun can't do that. That beats my Kayfun for wicking. And that wick is saturated. Every one of them hits was saturated. I'm pumping 23 watts. I'll take it to 30 watts. Now, I don't care what anyone says, you can't chain vape a Kayfun at 30 watts. Every one is fully saturated at 30 watts in the Kayfun. My lungs would be black by now with cotton residue if I was using my legitimate Kayfun. That juice is a higher VG juice, so they do tend to sit in the wicks a bit better, which means you can push them higher, but then when you get a dry hit, using a half, get a dry hit, okay? No such thing. I run my Kayfun at 25-30 watts, and I do get a few good vapes, but not to the level of this. I can chain it, and it keeps up every time, and that is great. It really is. Overall is my last one. Now we know it's going to be a 10. It's actually a 10 plus. It's beyond a 10. It's beyond a joke that's beating my Kayfun. And truth be told, going for either of them two now, I could rework both. I would pick up this over this, and this is a legitimate Kayfun. Praise doesn't come higher than that. It doesn't. It's a fantastic vape, it's a fantastic build, it's a fantastic looking, it's a great price, it's great build. I can't recommend this EH Pro Kayfun clone enough. I've tried a few and this is by far and away the best, so much so that I prefer it to my genuine Kayfun. If you're after a Kayfun, pay half the price or less than half the price and get a vape that in my opinion's the same in terms of flavour, sometimes slightly better, the same in terms of vapour, and can keep up more. So yeah, I recommend it hardcore, guys. Go and check out thebestshop.eu. The link will be down there, and I'll have it up here as well if you want to just sort of type it in. They've got loads of gear on there, great service, so yeah, go ahead and check them out, guys. I really recommend them. We've used them a few times and they've been spot on every time. Other than that, guys, I'm pretty much done here. Get yourself one. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Mr. P, so see you soon.